Thank you, Becky Vanderdeen, for sending me the story. The link will be in the description. So I actually found out about this story for the first time yesterday. In passing, I don't know if I received any, links from, I think I did, but Becky Vanderdeen was the first person to send it to me. I think somebody else did send it to me as well. Shout out to that individual too. Now, when I first learned about this, I was like, okay, here we go. We have another, unarmed person being shot by a cop. What else is new? And it's probably a black person. Well, shock to my surprise, it wasn't. And when I saw the name, because I saw the name before I saw the image of the clip, which will be in the link in the description. I'm not going to play it on here, mostly for copyright purposes, and that would be considered graphic, and then I would probably have to age restrict the video. But, when I looked at the clip, from the still image, I saw a man down on his knees with his hands raised, and I couldn't really make out because he was in a hallway and it was kind of dark in the hallway, like the lighting wasn't very good. But when I kind of looked at where the light kind of hit his face, I said, that guy doesn't look black, but I'm not sure. And then I saw his name. It said his name was Daniel Shaver. And I'm like, I don't know too many black people with the last name Shaver, but there probably is a lot of black people with the last name with the first name Daniel. And when I typed Daniel Shaver into the search bar in Google, the image on the left is what came up. And the image on the right also came up. So I knew one of these guys had to be Daniel Shaver. Turns out the guy on the left is Daniel Shaver. And as you can see, Daniel Shaver is a white guy. And the person on the right who shot him is too also a white guy. And his name is Philip Mitchell Brailsford. He is the guy that shot and killed Daniel Shaver. Now, in the video clip, as you will see, if you haven't seen it already, you'll hear that Daniel Shaver is begging for his life. Like, he's unarmed, he has his hands up, he's on his knees, and he's begging him not to shoot him. Of course, being the terroristic cop that Philip Brailsford is and was trained to be, he ignores his pleas for mercy and shoots and kills Daniel Shaver. But he doesn't just shoot him one time. He shot him multiple times. Now, what's even more interesting with this story is that Philip Brailsford was on trial, and if he was found guilty, he would have faced 25 years in prison for a second-degree murder charge. However, on Thursday, December the 7th, Philip Mitchell Brailsford was found not guilty of any wrongdoing and is pretty much acquitted of murder. It was a 6-week trial, and he's pretty much going to walk away for killing this man. Now, I know what you're wondering. Tareen, why are you talking about this? This is like white on white crime here. Yes, it is. But there's a point that there's to be made here. I wonder how the caucus stain is going to react to this. Now, in previous cases, we've had the cop be a person of color, like Muhammad Noor. And then you've had the cop who, while he didn't kill that girl, the one in Florida who slapped that girl when she slapped him. And you've had the most recent one where the Mexican immigrant, while he wasn't a cop, he killed, on accident, Kate Steinle. And how white people reacted to that. Now, the reason why I say this one's a bit different is because you have a white cop who killed a white guy, or just someone white in general. And I don't really hear that much outrage about this at all. And this story has been making its rounds, but I'm betting the caucus thing is going to say, well, we didn't hear about it because all we can focus on is these fires and the Mueller investigation and 45 and all other things. It's amazing when something happens to them by them who they deem and raise up to such a high esteem standard and put on a pedestal, they immediately become naive to it. Have y'all ever noticed that? They become naive to what cops do, white cops in particular, when they do it against another white person. But if it was a cop of color, or especially a black cop, then, all eyes on that cop. Or that person who might have done something to a white person, such as what that Mexican immigrant did to Kate Steinle. Now, this should make them outraged. This also shows that the injustice system doesn't work for them, but it really doesn't work for us. So I'm not going to give them that much leeway because it works against us more than it would ever work against them. After all, it was created by them to work for them. But notice that there's now little cracks here and there falling down, down the pike. This is like the second cop incident that happened this year against a white person. Well, not happened this year because, this didn't happen. If I'm reading this correctly, I don't believe this happened this year. Maybe it did. No, I'm taking it back. It didn't. It happened January 18th, 2016, almost a year ago. Over a year ago, I should say. As I'm reading more of this article, excuse me, it says that Daniel Shaver was a pest control worker and he was there on business in Mesa, Arizona on business with some other acquaintances. And he was showing this air rifle that he would use to exterminate birds. And I guess that's what somebody saw. They called the cops, and then that's when they called the cops on him. So basically they pulled a John Crawford on this guy. You know how when John Crawford was in the Walmart and he had the toy gun in his hand, or whatever, it was like an airsoft gun in his hand, and they called the cops on him and saying he was waving around a gun in the store, and they came and they shot and killed him. The only difference between John Crawford and this guy is two things. One, he's white, John Crawford was black, and two, this guy had a little bit more time to plead. John Crawford really didn't really have that much time. The thing they have in common is they both got shot multiple times in a public place. He got killed in a hotel. John Crawford got killed in a Walmart. And of course the location is different, but when you put it together, it has some similarities and of course some contrasts. But like I said, black people, we don't have to worry about this one. I just made this video because I want to know how the caucus thing is going to react to this. I mean, if they don't have enough on their plate already, will they find a way to squeeze in something about this? Because this guy's literally walking away free of murder. And then on top of that, he only would have got a second-degree murder charge. He wouldn't even have gotten life. He would have only gotten 25 years. Notice that they have the hugest problem, the biggest problem of giving life in prison to these cops who do stuff like this. Michael Slager just got 20 years for killing Walter Scott after a mistrial. They're lucky it ended in a mistrial and not in a not guilty that first time, because then they probably wouldn't have been able to get him on this 20-year jail sentence. And this guy got 25 years. But it is what it is. Welcome to America, caucus thing. This is one last thing that I wanted to add in, and I found out about it hours after I recorded the initial video. So this is actually being added in probably a few minutes before I actually upload it. I'm glad that I did. And shout out to O. Jackson Ali, because that's how I found out about it. Do you know that the caucus thing has a lot of nerve? They actually are kind of upset and are trying to get the attention of Black Lives Matter to actually make noise about this. When I saw that, all I could do was just shake my head and laugh at the same damn time. These are the same people that will say that Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization. They are this, they are that, and all kinds of shit. I guess they realized and got the memo when their whole White Lives Matter thing didn't take off, when the SPLC or the Southern Poverty Law Center said, oh, you're going to be deemed a hate group. Now they have to run and try to get Black Lives Matter to actually do something. But you know what? The SPLC didn't mention that all lives matter was a hate group. So why didn't they bring back that campaign? I'll tell you why. Because they know it was a dead on arrival campaign, or a dead on arrival quote unquote movement. But I think that was kind of funny that they actually want Black Lives Matter to say something about this when there wasn't anybody black involved with this. You know why they're doing this? Because a lot of white people have leaped and squirmed their way into the Black Lives Matter movement. So are they really talking to the black people of Black Lives Matter, or are they talking to the white people who are in the Black Lives Matter movement?